You probably think you have a motivation problem. You don't. You think there's something wrong with your discipline, some deficiency that makes you start things and never finish. That's not it either. Here's what's actually happening. You're treating consistency like it should emerge naturally from wanting something badly enough. Every time you fall off, you assume you didn't want it enough. So you recommit, feel that spark again, and then 3 days, maybe 2 weeks if you're really fired up, nothing. Psychologists call this the intention-action gap, and research makes something brutally clear. How much you want something has almost zero predictive power over whether you'll follow through. What actually predicts behavior isn't motivation, it's specificity. Peter Gollwitzer studied this for decades. People who form implementation intentions, deciding in advance exactly when, where, and how they'll act, are 2 to 3 times more likely to follow through than people who just commit to the goal. I'm going to work out more versus I'm putting on running shoes at 6:15 a.m. before I check my phone. The first is a wish. The second is a plan your brain can execute because it's tied to concrete cues. Your brain doesn't respond to vague. Vague gets overwritten by whatever's easier in the moment. Here's the second thing. You're making too many decisions. Every time you leave a behavior up to how you feel, you're burning cognitive resources before you start. Should I do it now? Later? Am I too tired? That internal negotiation exhausts you. And the more fatigued your brain gets from deciding, the more it defaults to the path of least resistance. So stop negotiating with yourself. People who stay consistent haven't mastered some superhuman discipline. They've eliminated the decision point. They don't ask whether they feel like doing it. The when and where are already set. When that moment comes, they just move. You don't need more willpower, you need fewer choices. But here's the part that might sting. Some of you aren't just struggling with systems, you're struggling with identity. You've made consistency about proving something, and every failure confirms a belief you're trying to outrun, that you're just not that kind of person. That narrative does more damage than any missing strategy. Because if your identity says, "I always fall off," every attempt becomes a test you expect to fail. Subconsciously, you create escape routes. You leave the decision open. You don't set the alarm. You're not lazy. You're protecting yourself from disappointment. But you can't outthink an identity problem with a new app. Identity changes through action, not affirmation. Psychologists call this self-perception theory. You look at your own behavior to decide who you are. Every small act of follow-through becomes evidence. One day of doing the thing when you didn't feel like it means more than 10 days of feeling motivated. So here's what you do. Pick one behavior. One. Attach it to a cue that already exists after brushing your teeth, sitting at your desk, finishing your coffee. Make it small enough that "I don't have time" stops being valid. Then protect it like it matters, because it does. Not because of what the habit is, but because keeping your word to yourself rewires what you believe about yourself. No one's going to hand you consistency. You won't wake up one day feeling ready. That day doesn't come. What comes is a moment, this one, where you stop waiting and start building proof.